Lin Moyu, you can't escape this time. The cold voice of the demon lord stirred in the starry sky. Lin Moyu said nothing and the law galaxy appeared at his feet. The law of the galaxy is turbulent and he walks on the waves. The law of immortality surged out, forcibly carving a path through the frozen starry sky. Lin Moyu pointed with his backhand, and the hell of bones instantly enveloped the ice-blue skybreaker. The evil spirits from hell rushed towards the three demon lords crazily.
What rubbish! Get away!
The demon lord took action and destroyed the hell of bones. After the marking was completed, Lin Moyu showed an incredible smile. Even if the bone hell has not grown yet, it is just a marking ability, which is no worse than any other spell. Relying on this ability, Lin Moyu can easily lock the other side, and other illegal talents can be used. Otherwise, he will suffer a big loss when facing the other side. The ice-blue space breaker was still hundreds of millions of kilometers away, and it shot out the frozen blue light again, trying to completely freeze the starry sky. Lin Moyu rushed all the way along the Law Galaxy, and at the same time, a large number of skeleton gods flew out, opening the way for Lin Moyu in front. The other side of the Golden Eagle tribe chased him closer and closer, and at the same time showed surprise. Why is the galaxy of his laws at his feet? I've never seen it before, it's unreasonable. The Law Galaxy will only turn from the top of the head to the body when it steps onto the other side. He is under the feet and cannot understand. If you don't understand, don't read it. Chase him and kill him. It will be over once and for all. The two of them couldn't figure it out, so they stopped thinking about it. As long as they killed Lin Moyu, it didn't matter what they were doing. The ice-blue space breaker continued to emit ice-blue light, and the space was constantly frozen, which greatly reduced Lin Moyu's speed. Advertisement. This battleship is in some trouble. Lin Moyu's heart moved, and the corpse of a peak god appeared in his hand. At the same time, hundreds of drops of colorful water flew out, and at the same time, there were tens of thousands of burning powers of faith. Hundreds of millions of miles apart, Lin Moyu locked on the ice-blue space breaker and launched the corpse explosion. Amidst the loud noise, a layer of barrier rose up on the ice-blue skybreaker, and then in the violent explosion, the barrier was shattered. The ice-blue air breaker was suddenly blown away, and the battleship shook and flew in another direction. The three demon lords were stunned at the same time. They did not expect Lin Moyu's counterattack to be so fierce and silent. They reacted quickly, put away the ice-blue skybreaker, ignited the fire of the abyss, and flew towards Lin Moyu. But the speed is much slower than the ice-blue skybreaker. Lin Moyu broke through the frozen area, his undead wings vibrated, and he was ready to break through the space again. Several rays of golden light struck from behind, and the Golden Eagle clan arrived on the other side, launching a strong attack on Lin Moyu again. After having an experience and knowing the intensity of the attack, Lin Moyu no longer blocked it with his body. Skeleton gods appeared densely behind him, becoming Lin Moyu's human shield. Layers of golden armor symbols flashed, forming countless layers of shields. The golden light shot through the layers of shields, and a large number of skeleton god generals were pierced by the golden light and collapsed on the spot. The golden armor talisman, which is enough to withstand the attack of the peak god, is like paper and has no effect. The golden light pierced through thousands of skeleton generals and finally hit Lin Moyu. Huge force exploded on Lin Moyu, and Lin Moyu was blown away, but in the blink of an eye he vibrated the wings of the undead, smashed the space, and flew away.
Still okay?
The other side of the Golden Eagle clan was stunned again. After enduring 2 attacks from them, Lin Moyu still acted like nothing happened. Is this guy really just a god? But the more this happens, the more he can't let Lin Moyu go. They looked at each other, their whole bodies were shining with golden light, and their speed suddenly increased and they rushed out. On the other side, 3 demon lords also flew towards them, but their speed was not as fast as the Golden Eagle tribe god lord, and they were also not as fast as Lin Moyu who controlled the laws of space. You can't chase like this, you can't catch up.
How can this guy be so fast?
Advertisement.
Let's go to the front to intercept.
The 3 of them took out a magic stone and crushed it, and a teleportation channel suddenly appeared in front of them. The teleportation channel is connected to a distant teleportation array. This is near the Demon Clan's starfield. Here, the Demon Clan has secretly deployed a large number of teleportation arrays. They chose the nearest one and intercepted Lin Moyu from the front. The distance between Golden Eagle Bienin and Lin Moyu was once again narrowed. Golden Eagle Bienin used the secret method, and the speed became faster and faster. Lin Moyu snapped his fingers, and immortal flames suddenly burned in the starry sky. The skeleton throne appeared, and the skeleton king responded. Kill the god with one sword. The sword light exploded on the other side of the Golden Eagle clan. A blow equivalent to that of a peak god, although it could not hurt them, it suddenly slowed down their speed, and the distance between them and Lin Moyu widened again. The two casually killed the skeleton king and continued the pursuit. There are so many tricks, how could it be so slippery? The harder it is to kill, the harder it is to kill him. If he becomes the other side, we won't be chasing him, but he will kill us. The other side of the Golden Eagle clan is very sober. The more difficult Lin Moyu is, the more he wants to kill him. If he lets him go this time, there will be endless troubles. The two continued to accelerate and continued to chase Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu's eyes suddenly narrowed, and he saw 3 demon lords blocking his path. It was the 3 demon lords who were chasing him before. How did you get to the front? Lin Moyu was confused and immediately changed direction. At this time, a group of green flames exploded in the air, and the space became chaotic again. Lin Moyu was affected and his speed suddenly slowed down. Fortunately, the scope of spatial influence is very large, and the other side of the Golden Eagle clan is also affected. Lin Moyu immediately adjusted the space laws and adapted. Boom! Another ball of abyssal fire exploded, and the space became even more chaotic, making Lin Moyu's adaptation useless. The 3 demon lords flew towards Lin Moyu, and balls of abyssal fire exploded continuously, making the space a mess. Lin Moyu had no chance to adapt. Advertisement. You're really not stupid. You found a way to deal with me so quickly. The space was chaotic, and Lin Moyu completely lost his powerful mobility. The 3 demon lords are getting closer and closer, and the Golden Eagle tribe behind them is also getting closer. Lin Moyu was a little helpless. Without the laws of space, if it was a simple comparison of speed, it would be impossible for him, a god 050, to be able to compete with the strong man on the other side.
It seems that we have to use our trump card.
Although Lin Moyu feels it is a pity, he will not be stingy when it is time to use it. Although the cards are good, they are definitely not as good as their own community. Facing 5 other shores at the same time, he had no chance. Lin Moyu simply stopped moving and stood in the starry sky, symbolically summoning some skeletons. A magic stone was crushed, and a barrier emerged out of thin air, covering Lin Moyu. The barrier is very large, with a diameter of more than 1 million kilometers, enough to cover most stars. Lin Moyu can feel that this barrier is not only big, but also very strong. If he wants to break out, he needs to spend some effort. After the barrier enveloped Lin Moyu, the 3 demon lords said with ferocious smiles, "There is no place to escape."
You're quite smart, you know how to wait for death.
Seeing how cooperative you are, if you have any last words, please tell me, and I will help you pass them on to the human race. Lin Moyu looked at them and said nothing. The 3 demon lords are waiting for the arrival of the Golden Eagle clan from the other side. Lin Moyu is also waiting for the arrival of the Golden Eagle clan from the other side. After a while, 2 Golden Eagle clan members rushed into the barrier, one behind the other, surrounding Lin Moyu.
Lin Moyu sighed softly, there is nothing we can do.
He took out the law ball given by Xinglao. Demon Lord and Golden Eagle clan Bianan felt their hearts pounding at the same time, feeling that the situation was not good. Why, Lin Moyu is not panic at all.
Lin Moyu's soul moved, and the law was activated.
The law ball was activated, and a huge aura rushed out, instantly covering the entire barrier. The starry sky seemed to be frozen, and the demon lord of the demon clan and the other side of the Golden Eagle clan had a look of horror on their faces at this moment. It was as if they had been immobilized, unable to move in the starry sky. Space is like a cage, binding them tightly. What level of power is this?
How could he have such a thing?
It's not the Holy Lord. It's more powerful than the Holy Lord.
Could it be?
No way, it can't be that. They all thought of a certain possibility, but they all knew that there would be no supreme being in this world now.
Unless
it's a remnant from ancient times. But if there is such a strong person in the human race, why was it almost wiped out 100,000 years ago? As long as there is such a strong man taking action, it doesn't matter if all the races join forces. Lin Moyu is like a mystery and seems to have endless trump cards. Lin Moyu didn't want to get involved with them before, he just didn't want to waste his cards. They have realized that it is not that Lin Moyu is afraid of them, but that they are not worthy. The law ball exploded and the terrible force blocked the space. It's not an ordinary blockade, but it freezes the entire space, making it difficult to move. Countless laws came from the starry sky and twisted into chains, locking several people from the other side. Xinglao appeared next to Lin Moyu and looked at him with a smile. Boy, didn't you say that the other side realm can't kill you? It doesn't matter now. Lin Moyu smiled bitterly and said, I mean one other shore realm can't kill me. There are 5 here. Advertisement. Xinglao's gaze swept over the 5 people, and the 5 of them felt as if they were about to be cut into pieces by Xinglao's gaze. Xinglao did not take action, but looked in another direction and said calmly, Are you here? A ball of green and red flames appeared out of thin air, and an illusory, hazy, and extremely ferocious face emerged from the flames, the face of a demon. The hoarse voice echoed in the starry sky, According to the agreement, you should not take action. Mr. Xing chuckled, Do I have a field? The devil whispered, I want to take them away. Xinglao had no objection, including these 2 eagle cubs? The devil thought for a few seconds and then decided to return. Mr. Xing chuckled, Assuming you know the truth, it's settled. Then he looked at the other side of the 2 golden eagle clans, squinted his eyes, and said, It depends on your luck. The faces of the 2 people changed drastically. From what they heard in the words, the 2 of them could only live for a while. Suddenly, a ball of flame emerged out of thin air and enveloped one of them and the 3 demon lords. In the blink of an eye, the 4 Bienin disappeared without a trace, leaving only 1 Bienin from the Golden Eagle clan. This Golden Eagle tribe's hair stood on end, his heart sank to the bottom, and he felt that he was in danger. Mr. Xing chuckled and said, What do you think? If you want to do it yourself, it's better for the old man to do it. Lin Moyu said shamelessly, Don't bother me with anything. You've been here for a long time, so just move around. You don't have to kill me. You can just maim me. Mr. Xing glared at Lin Moyu, asking for a lot. As he spoke, he looked towards the other side of the Golden Eagle tribe. I forgot to ask you, what is your name? You are in the other side of the world after all, so you can't die in an unknown way. If your name is nice, maybe I can spare your life. The other side of the Golden Eagle clan seemed to be frightened by Xinglao and said in a trembling voice, My name is Xian Guang. Not very good, then you can go on your way. Xinglao said with a slap in the face. With a bang, Xian Guang's skin and flesh exploded, his bones exploded, and he fainted on the spot. On the other side of the hall, he was crippled with just a slap. Advertisement. Lin Moyu saw the gap in power levels, which was the gap between Xinglao and ordinary the other side. Xinglao said, You now know why in ancient times, the other side realm was also called cannon fodder. How could Lin Moyu not understand that he was indeed cannon fodder? And he, a god, is not even cannon fodder. Lin Moyu didn't waste any time, releasing the Hell of Bones and letting the evil spirits from hell devour the other side. Although corpses can also be swallowed, this kind of other side state where the soul is not dead yet and the soul is still there is the most valuable. Now the skeleton hell is only a hair away from being promoted, and it should be enough to swallow up this otherworldly figure. However, the other shore realm is very strong and it will take some time to swallow it up. Xinglao looked at Lin Moyu's technique and said, This technique of yours looks good. Lin Moyu did not hide anything and was not modest at all. I also think it is good, it can continue to grow through devouring it. Xinglao said, Spells that can grow are rare. I heard that you wandered outside the territory this time. How do you feel about it? Is it fun outside the territory? He looked at Lin Moyu with a half-smile, as if he wanted to see Lin Moyu's joke. Lin Moyu said, It's okay. I met 2 living supreme beings and learned some important things from ancient times. Xinglao's expression finally changed. His eyes were fixed on Lin Moyu, and his tone became solemn. You said, you met the supreme being who is still alive, and there were 2 of them? Yes. Xinglao looked Lin Moyu up and down. My dear, what kind of luck do you have? Then he looked around again, as if to see if anyone was eavesdropping, which seemed a bit funny. He lowered his voice and said, Come back quickly and tell me what happened outside the territory. Don't say it here, talk about it when you come back. Lin Moyu understood what Mr. Xing meant. This was indeed not the place to talk. Lin Moyu asked, Senior, what was that devil face just now? Xinglao said, It is the foundation of the demon clan. Advertisement. Lin Moyu was shocked and immediately thought of a possibility. Is it because Xiao Zhanshan didn't destroy the demon clan back then? Mr. Xing smiled half-heartedly. Not bad, I can think of all these things. It's quite smart. Lin Moyu murmured to himself, no wonder. The demon clan has such a foundation. No wonder Xiao Zhantian withdrew after severely damaging the demon clan. It's not that it really can't be eradicated, it may be that even if it is eradicated, it will have to pay an unbearable price. At that time, it was not only the demon race that had to be dealt with, but also other races. It is difficult to say that several other powerful clans have no background. Xing Lao said, "Understand, the powerful clans are all good, they can't be destroyed just by you. Come back quickly, don't bother, otherwise those old guys will become shameless and I won't be able to save you in time." Lin Moyu also realized the seriousness of the matter. "I understand. It's a pity that he has been playing with fire these days. If the demon clan's background is revealed, the trouble will be big." Li's, although he still has a trump card, he has the body of Shanlin Supreme in his hand. But he couldn't guarantee that it would be useful. If he couldn't lock the target, it would be of no use. Sometimes, if the difference in strength is too big, the trump card will become a bad one. After waiting for half an hour, Xing Lao disappeared into the starry sky. In the law ball, his power was limited, and he could only stay for half an hour because he didn't make many moves. If you go all out, the time will be greatly shortened. The devouring of the bone hell lasted for a full 2 hours, and the evil spirit of hell finally swallowed Xian Guang. The skeleton hell released a gray light, the hellfire river was burning, countless mist was growing, and there were faint screams of terror, making the whole hell become even more gloomy and terrifying. The number of evil spirits in hell increased significantly, reaching 10 million. The strength of every hellish evil spirit is comparable to that of a 7th-level god. The range that the bone hell can cover has also doubled, reaching 100 million kilometers. Some small galaxies can cover less than half of them. Advertisement. At the border of the demon clan, the human army is pressing on the border, and the armies of both sides are confronting each other. Small conflicts have broken out several times, but large-scale battles have not yet begun. The human race is so aggressive that it seems like a war will break out at any time. The troops of the Golden Eagle tribe also rushed over from the side. Their numbers were not large, but they were all hidden. Thousands of gods formed the Golden Eagle battle formation, ready to enter the battlefield at any time. The formations of several imitation god of war fortresses of the human race are flashing, and even if they are facing the enemy on 2 fronts, they are not weak at all. Dozens of light years away from the battlefield, Wu Xingzuan and others controlled the genuine god of war fortress and jumped out from deep space. They were stopped. The Hell Demon Lord and the Abyss Demon Lord, together with a group of people from the other side, blocked the way to the god of war fortress. The demon tribe is different from the Buddha tribe. The Buddha tribe has never experienced war. Their galaxy is like a broken wall with leaks everywhere. Each galaxy is protected by formations, but each is independent and does not form a system. This is not the case with the demon race. They are in a state of war all year round and have established an extremely powerful defense system within the race. In the core area of the demon clan, there is a barrier that connects the galaxies into one, not only defending the surface of space, but also staring at the deep space. Most of the power of the abyss fire is shrouded here, and even if you want to break in from the deep space, it is not easy. At this point, the demon clan is stronger than the 3 silver clan. Even if they are both powerful clans, they can still tell the difference. It was naturally impossible for Wu Xingzuan and others to take a detour from the outside. They went directly through the center of the demon clan. 687 was so upright. This is also one of the purposes, to attract the attention of the top powerhouses of the demon clan and share the pressure for Lin Moyu. In the starry sky, the fortress of the god of war transformed into a terrifying war weapon, showing its powerful combat power. The formation roared, countless attacks blasted out from the god of war fortress, and stars were destroyed one by one. In the blink of an eye, galaxies were wiped out and countless demons were killed. Advertisement. This is the star domain of the demon clan, where the god of war's fortress can unleash its full firepower, unscrupulously and without any scruples. The god of war fortress lived up to its reputation and showed amazing combat power, no weaker than the ordinary other side. The demon lord from the other side of the demon clan tried his best to resist the attack of the god of war's fortress. Their main purpose is to protect surrounding galaxies. The demon lord of hell roared like thunder, "Holy Lord of heaven, do the human race want to have a decisive battle with the demon race?" He waved his giant palm and smacked it towards the god of war fortress. Countless flame giant palms appeared in the starry sky, and the fire of hell roared and blasted on the god of war's fortress. The formations in the god of war's fortress shone brightly, firmly blocking the attack of the hell demon lord. Tian Qingzun stood in the formation with a smile on his face. You should know our purpose of coming. If you don't understand, Abyss Demon Lord will definitely understand. The Abyss Demon Lord naturally understands and has already told the Hell Demon Lord Aj. The human race came here just to hold them back so that Lin Moyu could share the pressure. The Abyss Demon Lord smiled sinisterly. Of course I understand, but do you think you can hold it off? This is our territory. If you come here, you may not be able to go back. The Heavenly Saint said with disdain, Abyss Demon Lord, why don't your true body come over and a clone come over?
Are you afraid?
The Abyss Demon Lord smiled and said, my body naturally has things to do, such as killing Lin Moyu. Tian Qingzun's expression changed. The Abyss Demon Lord's true body was not here. If he went to kill Lin Moyu, then Lin Moyu would be in danger. The Demon Lord of the Abyss is a holy lord and cannot be resisted by Lin Moyu. At this time, the War Saint said, in that case, let's fight. Tian Qingzun nodded, then let's fight. The War Saint gave an order, and the gate of the War God's fortress opened, and one by one the other side warships flew out, a total of 10 ships. These warships all have combat power that is not weaker than that of the other side. Behind the battleship, there are many powerful people from the other side, also 10, half of whom are from the Temple of War. Advertisement. On top of the fortress, the 4 saints, Tian Qingzun, Wu Xingzun, Zan Qingzun, and Killer Zun, were filled with fighting spirit and were ready to fight. Although their purpose is to delay, it would not be a bad idea if they were pretending to be real. The Heavenly Saint stared at the Abyss Demon Lord and said coldly, then kill your clone first, and then kill your body. Wu Xingzun's voice was calm, if your true form doesn't come, the demon clan will have one less saint, so we can defeat them one by one. Green flames boiled all over the body of the Demon Lord of the Abyss. Haha, you can try to see if you can kill me. A ball of green flame exploded, and 2 balls of golden light suddenly lit up. 2 saints from the Golden Eagle tribe suddenly appeared in the starry sky. At this time, another demon came from afar and landed in front of him instantly. This demon's whole body was like black iron, with lava flowing underneath the black iron. After he arrived, he let out a roar, and his voice shook the starry sky. Many of the human race, long time no see.
Lava Demon Lord.
Several of them are old acquaintances, have played against each other before, and are very familiar with each other. The Abyss Demon Lord smiled and said, 4 to 4, isn't it a tie now?
Blow your head flat.
Amidst the shouts, a fierce sword energy rushed out from the God of War's fortress and went straight towards the Demon Lord of the Abyss. The Abyss Demon Lord's expression changed drastically and he quickly retreated. He is very fast, but not as fast as Sword Chi. The Lava Demon Lord roared angrily and punched the sword energy. The starry sky was like a volcano erupting and a ball of flames exploded in the sky, colliding with the sword energy. The entire starry sky was shaking and the space collapsed on the spot, turning into a sea of fire. The Abyss Demon Lord let out a strange cry. Most of the flames in Cage Electric's body were extinguished. Although the Lava Demon Lord blocked the sword for him, he was still impacted. After all, it is just a clone, equivalent to an ordinary Otherside realm, and its strength is far inferior to the original body. The Demon Lord of the Abyss was still frightened.
At this time, he heard the Demon Lord of Hell shout, "Be careful!"
Advertisement. In the sea of fire, a figure rushed out with a sharp sword light and rushed forward instantly. 10,000 swords devour the sky. The sword energy exploded, and the sword exploded in all directions, covering hundreds of millions of miles of starry sky. The face of the Abyss Demon Lord changed drastically. The sword energy was already in front of him and it was impossible to hide. The flames all over his body exploded, and the fire of the abyss burned blazingly, turning into a shield in front of him. There was a strange aura flying out of the flames, and he used his original magic. The green shield suddenly became extremely strong, blocking the infinite sword energy. The Hell Demon Lord roared, "Go back!" On the head, the wireless hair stretches thousands of miles and is used as a whip to whip over.
"Get out of here, sister!"
He responded with a yell. Stronger sword energy burst out and all of his hair broke off. The Sword Saint turned into a sharp sword and stabbed heavily on the Abyss Demon Lord's shield. There was a loud bang, and the shield that had been hijacked by the original technique roared loudly.
"Zetian!"
There was another scream, and the Abyss Demon Lord let out a terrifying scream and was swallowed up by the sword energy. The sword energy cut through the sky, broke through the boundaries of space, and struck a distant galaxy. The galaxy collapsed on the spot, the stars in the galaxy were instantly extinguished, planets exploded one after another, and a galaxy was razed to the ground. The sword light reversed and quickly returned to the fortress of the god of war, and the sword saint appeared in the starry sky. The face of the Hell Demon Lord was very ugly. Sword Saint Lord, I didn't expect you to come too. The Sword Saint said with a cold tone, can you care whether I come or not?
I will kill you with the next sword.
The Sword Master's attack was too fierce, and he immediately turned into the avatar of the Abyss Demon Lord.
He really didn't give him any face.
The War Saint said, it's my turn to take action, and I can't let the Sword Saint May do it. He shouted softly, and the Holy Lord's breath rose into the sky, and a giant spear with a diameter of over 100,000 meters appeared in the starry sky. The appearance of this 100,000-meter-long spear caused the demons present to tremble. The two saints of the Golden Eagle tribe who came to support turned around and retreated without saying a word. They retreated hundreds of millions of miles in an instant, with fear in their eyes, the fear of this spear. The Lava Demon Lord roared angrily, God of War spear, you actually brought it. The War Saint sneered, yes, otherwise you guys will think we are bluffing. The Demon Lord of Hell said coldly, the God of War spear is indeed terrifying, but you can also stab it with a few shots. Zhang Qingzuan smiled and said, it doesn't matter a few shots, I'll kill you enough. The God of War gun bloomed with thunderous light, and countless thunder lights shot off the gun. The thunder light shattered the starry sky and turned a large star field into a sea of thunder. The demon lords retreated one after another to avoid thunder, as if they did not dare to contend with thunder.
If nothing else, just its name is scary enough.
The God of War spear was once Xiao Zhantian's natal magic weapon. Countless powerful people died under the God of War's gun, among which the number of saints was no less than 10, and there were even more in the other side realm. Xiao Zhantian once brought this gun and swept through all ethnic groups, beating the strong men of all ethnic groups into fear. After Xiao Zhantian disappeared, the God of War spear remained in the God of War temple. In the following years, the War God gun also appeared several times. Whether it is the Demon Clan or the Golden Eagle Clan, they all have records about this gun. Xian Zun was once seriously injured by the God of War spear. Fortunately, the God of War gun is difficult to drive, and even the Holy Lord has difficulty using it continuously. The God of War spear cannot be released easily. Once it is released, it will be a big battle. Zhang Qingzuan smiled and said, which of you will take the first shot from me? His gaze swept across like lightning, and the demon lords retreated again. No one dared to take the magic spear. Advertisement. If you take a shot, you will either die or be wounded. The Lava Demon Lord roared, I want to see how powerful the God of War spear is. He was filled with anger. He had failed to block the Sword Saint just now, which directly caused the Abyss Demon Lord's clone to be chopped off. He was already burning with rage. Now he wants to avenge his shame. The fists touched each other, and a magic weapon flew out, turning into a full-body armor and covering the whole body. The lava flows on the armor, making the Lava Demon Lord even more ferocious. After putting on the armor, the aura of the Lava Demon Lord skyrocketed, along with his size. The Lava Demon Lord, which was originally only 10 meters tall, grew to more than 10,000 meters in an instant. Although it was still inferior to the War God spear, its aura was at least twice as strong as before.
The War Saint sneered, then give it a try.
There was killing intent in his eyes, and along with the roar, the God of War spear thrust out fiercely. The sea of thunder exploded, and countless thunder spread to all directions. The galaxy that had been damaged before suddenly collapsed in the thunder. The lava demon roared, and the fists collided to erupt boundless lava, colliding with the sea of thunder. At the same time, he punched out and smashed the 100 War's divine spear. Terrible power swept across the starry sky, the God of War's fortress formation flashed and was knocked away uncontrollably. The expressions of all the demon lords changed. They were like leaves in a storm, being swept in all directions. The huge body of the lava demon lord was blown away, and countless lava was scattered along the way. There were dense cracks in his armor, as if it would break at any time. The arm drooped weakly, and countless lava fell from the arm like a waterfall. The lava is his blood, which can be seen in a huge wound on his arm. The wound ran through the entire arm and was difficult to heal. The Holy Lord's physical body is extremely strong and his recovery speed is extremely amazing. But now, the physical injury cannot be healed, which shows how powerful the war gun is. This shot not only hurt the surface, but also hurt the soul. Advertisement. A shot severely injured the lava demon lord, and several demon lords in the other side realm felt lucky. If it had been them, he might not have been seriously injured, but might have been killed on the spot. The god of war spear returned to the hands of the war saint. The god of war waved his hand and threw it, and the tens of millions of meters of the god of war spear once again condensed in the starry sky. It's good to be able to catch one shot.
Try how many shots you can catch.
The war saint said coldly, his eyes locked on the lava demon lord. The second spear was thrust out and thunder broke out again. The face of the lava demon lord changed drastically. With a roar, lava erupted all over his body, and an illusory lava world appeared in front of him. He sacrificed the world of rules. He knew that if he didn't sacrifice the world of rules, he might die. The demon king of hell roared angrily, "Do you want to fight until death?" Tianqingzuan sneered, "Are you stupid? There is a blood feud between humans and demons, and it is normal to fight to the death." The hell demon lord also felt that he was stupid. He saw that the lava demon lord had difficulty catching the second shot, so he roared and rushed over, asking for help. At this time, a ball of red and green flames exploded in the starry sky, and the flames condensed into a devil's face. The devil's face appeared just in front of the lava demon lord, blocking the god of war spear for the lava demon lord. With a loud bang, the sea of thunder erupted. The face of the god of war changed, and he stretched out his hand to withdraw it, and the god of war gun flew back like lightning and returned to his hand. The sea of thunder in the starry sky also shrank rapidly at this moment and was actually sucked away by the face of the devil that suddenly appeared. When the lava demon saw the demon's face, he immediately shouted respectfully, "I have seen the demon lord. 0, please give me flowers." The demon lord of hell also saluted the demon's face and said respectfully, "I have met the demon lord." Those demon lords from the other side of the world all had blank expressions on their faces. They didn't know the demon lord, but when they saw the appearance of the hell demon lord and the lava demon lord, they followed suit, saluted the demon's face, and called the demon lord respectfully. Unlike the demon lords, Tianqingzun showed no fear in the face of the demon lord. "I didn't expect that the demon lord would come out in person, it's really rare." Advertisement. The demon lord looked at Zhanqingzuan and others, "Lin Moyu is fine and our clan will not pursue him." Tianqingzuan's eyes flashed and he thought of something, as the demon lord, we naturally believe it. As he said this, he winked at the war saint, which meant, just accept it as you see fit. The war saint understood and immediately issued the order. All the other shores and warships immediately returned to Ares Fortress, and the gate of Ares Fortress slowly closed. Sword Saint seemed to want to say something else, but seeing the look in Tianqing's eyes, she forced herself to endure it. Tianqingzuan turned towards the demon lord, "The army will not retreat until Lin Moyu returns safely."
Okay.
The demon lord said loudly. The god of war fortress was activated, submerged into deep space and disappeared into the starry sky. In this battle, the demon clan suffered a lot of losses. The lava demon lord was injured, the abyss demon lord's clone was chopped off, 4 galaxies were beaten into powder, and countless demon people died. After the god of war's fortress disappeared, the demon lord of hell whispered, "Demon lord, are you really going to let them go like this?" The demon lord looked at the demon lord of hell and asked, "Can you keep them?" The hell demon lord instinctively responded, "If the demon lord takes action, it should be possible." The demon lord sneered, "I just met the human race guy." The demon king of hell was horrified, "He's actually here too." He obviously knows Xing Lao, and he also knows that Xing Lao and demon lord belong to the same level of existence and are the background of the two races. It was precisely because of the existence of the demon lord that 100,000 years ago Zhan Tian had to let go of the demon clan. The demon lord didn't say any more nonsense, Lin Moyu left with him, no more pursuit, the matter was over. The demon lord of hell frowned. Although he did not dare to resist the demon lord, as a holy lord, he still had something to say, "Lord demon lord, if Lin Moyu grows up, it will be a great disaster for our clan." The demon lord said in a voice that only the hell demon lord could hear, "The divine path is broken. No matter how strong he is, there is no limit. If the divine path is restored one day, then let's go." The demon lord of hell was stunned. "Let's go?
Where to go?"
"Leave here and go to your father-in-law." The fortress of the god of war sailed through deep space and returned to join the army. The sword saint looked unhappy. "Why are you stopping me?" Tianqingzuan said in a low voice, "Do you still want to fight against the devil?" The sword saint snorted lightly, "Is there anything I can't do?" Tian Qingzun said, "You are not his opponent, there is no need to take action." The sword master looked unconvinced. "How do you know if you haven't fought before?" Tian Qingzun said, "Then you go back and fight with Xinglao. You will know that Xinglao and the Demon King are about the same strength." The sword master snorted, "Even if you can't beat him, at least give it a try. You'll know how strong the opponent is and you'll have an idea." The war saint sat aside and whispered, "You have also seen the situation of the war god spear. Being able to easily block the war god spear has proven its strength." At this moment, the war saint's voice was slightly erratic, his face was pale, and he looked like he had used up the transition. Even though he was the Holy Lord A100, activating the war god spear twice in a row was a huge burden on him. With his combat power, he can exhaust all his power by activating it 3 times in a row at most. Now that it has been activated twice in a row, more than half of the power has been consumed, and the war saint is recovering. The sword saint glanced at the war saint, opened his mouth and moved twice, but rarely retorted. She knows how powerful the god of war spear is. Taking the god of war spear as an example, she is indeed not as good as the demon lord. There is a huge difference between the two. They were just very unconvinced before. Why would a demon lord come out and say a few words to make them retreat? Tian Qingzun said, "Since the demon lord said that Xiao Yulin is fine, then there will be nothing. I guess he has met Xinglao and we should have reached some kind of consensus. In this case, we can go back and wait with peace of mind. I believe it won't be long before Xiaofa can come back." The Holy Lord Killer, who had been silent all this time, suddenly spoke, "Do you think there is no way to deal with the demon lord?" Advertisement. Saint Hao shook his head gently, "As long as the Supreme Being does not come out, there will be no way to deal with the demon lord, otherwise the god of war would not have let go of the demon clan back then." The war saint sighed. Back then, the god of war really wanted to destroy the demon race, as well as several other races, but they had the foundation to exist, so the god of war had to stop. It's not just the demon clan that has the foundation, but also the Golden Eagle clan and the Bull Demon clan. Several saints know very well that being called a strong clan is not that simple. Wu Shengzuan's eyes were full of longing. If Lin Xiaoyu can reforge the divine path, maybe he can deal with them. Several saints are helpless. How difficult it is to recast the divine path. Even Xiao Zhantian couldn't do it back then. These saints have tried hard, but the results were unsatisfactory. In the big world, all the hundreds of divine roads have been destroyed, but the divine road in the human race seems to be intact, and there seems to be a glimmer of chance. It's just that this chance is too slim. After the return of the God of War fortress, the human army did not retreat and still maintained a high pressure on the demons. Injun will not retreat until Lin Moyu returns. They believed what the devil said, but they didn't completely believe it. Lin Moyu didn't delay any longer and quickly flew towards the human star or along the shortest route in the star map. Time passes day by day, and years pass in the blink of an eye. In front of the human army, the god of war's fortress, which had been silent for several years, suddenly moved. He disappeared into the starry sky again and penetrated into deep space. Lin Moyu vibrated the wings of the undead, constantly smashing into space, leaving broken gaps along the way. Suddenly, he stopped. It seemed like something was approaching. Through space, he sensed changes from deep space. Advertisement. In these years, although I have been on the road, I have been constantly shaking the wings of the undead, and I have become more and more proficient in the laws of space, and my mastery has also improved. Coupled with his extremely keen soul, subtle changes in space can cause his induction. Not long after Lin Moyu stopped, the space not far away was distorted, and the god of war fortress suddenly emerged. A familiar atmosphere came from the god of war fortress, and Saint Wu, Saint Tian, and Saint War appeared on the fortress. Lin Moyu was overjoyed. This junior has seen the Holy Lord. Wu Shengzuan is in a very good mood at the moment and it would be nice to come back. Tian Shengzuan smiled and nodded. Let's go. If you have anything to say on the way, it's time to go back after a few years here. When the wanderer returned home and stepped into the fortress of the god of war, his mood seemed a little different. Lin Moyu asked, "Are these saints here specially to pick him up?" Zhan Shengzuan glanced at Lin Moyu and said, "Of course I'm here to pick you up. You can be said to be the most honorable person in our human race in tens of thousands of years." Lin Moyu didn't understand. Juniors don't understand. Wu Shengzuan smiled as Lin Moyu talked about what they had done over the years. Lin Moyu was very moved when he heard that in order to pick him up, he would not hesitate to send out an army to relieve himself of the pressure. With the return of Lin Moyu, the human army received the order and began to withdraw. The God of War fortress took Lin Moyu directly back to the God City Star territory. In these years, the Sword Saint and the Killing Saint have already left, and those on the other side have basically returned. In the Jade Barrier, Zhan and Xingzuan are left. Under their questioning, Lin Moyu also talked about his experiences outside the territory. I heard that Lin Moyu met the Red Star Supreme and the Mountain Forest Supreme, and even found a way to cripple the Mountain Forest Supreme and finally chased him into the Soul Battleship. They were all in disbelief until Shanlin Supreme died in the Soul Battleship. Advertisement. Lin Moyu's experience is like a fairy tale. Others will never encounter it once in their lifetime. As a result, Lin Moyu encountered it all in just a few decades. The three saints looked at each other speechless. Saint Hao said, I also went to the outside world in my early years and traveled there for hundreds of years. I have not experienced as much as you. The War Saint snorted, it seems like I haven't been there, but that's not the case. Tian Xingzuan smiled and said, this means different people have different lives. Tian Xingzuan has also been to the outside world many times, and he will perform spiritual wanderings every once in a while. When he travels, he often goes outside the territory, and has never seen the Red Star Supreme or the Mountain Forest Supreme. I have to say that this is Lin Moyu's luck. Whether it's good luck or bad luck, it's his luck. Lin Moyu took out the box left by the Soul Clan. I don't know what the use of this box is, it can't be opened. The three saints observed the box carefully, and Saint Hao frowned. This is a box made using the ancient talisman method and the Stone of Time 5.1. The combination of the two makes the box extremely sturdy, and the items inside the box will not be affected by time. Even in that era, only some extremely valuable items were preserved in this way. Among the three, Wu Xingzuan was the most knowledgeable and quickly analyzed the situation of the box. After Holy Lord Jinghao said this, several people became more curious about the items in the box. What could it be that needed to be so treasured? Things that can be regarded as treasures by ancient powerful men will definitely not be simple things. It's a pity that even though I can see it, I can't open it. Saint Hao said, when we get back, let Saint Fu take a look. Maybe he can find a way. If it doesn't work, we can still ask Mr. Xing. Lin Moyu nodded, one more thing, Luo Xin is awake. The three of them looked over at the same time and the War Saint asked, is she the mixed-blood princess from the Starry Sky Fishman clan?
Yes, it's her.
Luo Xin is the most legendary person in the past 10,000 years. Her father is a human race, and her mother is a Starry Sky Fish human race princess. This princess is no ordinary princess, she is a princess who has awakened her bloodline and understood the laws of space. This princess has a very high status among the Starry Sky Fish people, so it is impossible for her to marry outside. I don't know what tricks the human race member used, but the fish human race princess eloped with him. The two disappeared for many years. In the end, the fish human princess did not come back. Only the human man came back and brought back a daughter named Luo Xin. Luo Xin was still a child when he came back. Originally, it was impossible for the Starry Sky Fishmen to allow a mixed-race existence like Luo Xin. But Luo Xin was born to awaken his bloodline and master the laws of space. At that time, the Starry Sky Fishman clan was in a strange stage and none of the many royal bloodlines in the clan had awakened. Only a few members of the older generation in the clan still master the laws of space, and they are approaching the twilight years of their lives. If they all leave, no one in the Starry Sky Fish people will be able to control the laws of space anymore. For the Starry Sky Fish people, this will be a terrible disaster. So after discussion, they accepted Luo Xin, and Luo Xin became the only mixed-race princess among the Starry Sky Fish people. At first, her status was not high and she was ostracized by her tribe. But as she became stronger and stronger, her position gradually became more stable and her power became stronger and stronger. Strangely enough, since the arrival of Luo Xin, the bloodline of the royal family of the Starry Sky Fishman tribe has begun to awaken again. More and more people are awakening to their bloodline, and the older generation of the Starry Sky Fishmen think it is the good luck brought by Luo Xin. Until Luo Xin reached the Supreme Saint and became the youngest and most powerful saint among the Starry Sky Fishmen. Later, Luo Xin left the Starry Sky Fishmen and disappeared. Advertisement. Lin Moyu recounted the experience of Luo Xin, and Wu Xingzuan said, it turns out that she met the Mountain Forest Supreme and was seriously injured in a sneak attack. Tian Xingzuan said with a smile, the Soul Pearl wandered into the starry sky and was obtained by you. The Supreme Lord of the mountains and forests died because of you, and finally Luo Xin was resurrected because of you. In this way, you can be regarded as Luotian's savior. Zhang Qingzuan winked at Lin Moyu, suddenly a little disrespectful. I have seen Luotian before, she is very beautiful, you saved her, does she want to marry you? If you agree, just agree. We humans are not that pedantic. It doesn't matter. Saint Hao also said seriously, you can have this. Lin Moyu was a little dumbfounded. These saints were usually serious and cold, how could they suddenly become like this? Lin Moyu did not respond to their words. I feel like Luotian is looking for something outside the territory. Saint Hao is indeed a knowledgeable man. He said, I do know that Luotian is looking for the whereabouts of his mother. Not only her, but his father is also looking for it. The war saint and the heavenly saint looked over, with the fire of gossip flashing in their eyes. Old Hausie, how did you know? If I remember correctly, I probably learned about Luotian from your mouth back then. At that time, I felt strange why you knew so clearly about Luotian. The two of them stared at Saint Hao as if they had discovered a new world. Wu Shengzuan said without changing his expression, actually, it's nothing, it's just an old thing. Luotian's father is Luo Qitian, and I was a good friend. These things were all told to me by Luo Qitian, who came to see me after he sent Luotian back. Lin Moyu looked strange. If Hao Shengzuan's Luotian's father was a good friend, then why didn't he ask for the Luotian soul pearl when he knew it was in his hands? After all, with his ability, the chance of resurrecting Luotian is higher. Advertisement. But Holy Lord Hao just pretended not to know anything, saying nothing and doing nothing. Saint Hao felt Lin Moyu's eyes and explained slowly, Luo Qitian and Luotian's mother fled outside the territory. Later, they encountered an accident. Luotian's mother disappeared, leaving only Luotian. Luo Qitian wanted to search, but he didn't want Luotian to have an accident, so he sent Luotian back. He came to see me afterwards. He had a drink with me before leaving and told me the whole story. Actually, there is another thing that you all don't know. The Holy Lord of the Starry Sky Fish tribe has a lifespan of only 5,000 years. Several people were surprised, and the war saint blurted out, so few? If nothing unexpected happens, the lifespan of the Holy Lord is generally between 390,000 years. Different races have different lifespans, but most of them are concentrated in the range of 30,000 to 50,000 years. Only some special races, such as plant-based races, can live longer, and it is not impossible to live for 70,000 or 80,000 years. But if it is said that the Holy Lord can only live for 5,000 years, that is a little too short, only about 1/10 of the normal life. Lin Moyu's heart skipped a beat as he thought of the Starry Sky Spirit clan. He secretly guessed, is it because the Starry Sky Fish people are also a race created by a certain deity, so their lifespan is particularly short? He felt that it was not impossible. Creating living beings is already an extremely unnatural act. After all, Tianzuan is not God. It is understandable that such an unnaturally born creature has a somewhat short lifespan. Tiansheng said, but the lifespan of Luotian is more than 5,000 years. Wu Shengzuan nodded, yes, that's because there is human blood in Luotian, so she is different from other Starry Sky Fish people. Luotian's mother seems to have had a change in her lifespan because of Luo Qitian's influence. Advertisement. Luo Qitian felt that his wife was still alive, so he stayed with me on the outer island. I think I came to Luotian to find my parents, so I went outside the territory. However, Luotian reached the level of Holy Lord and did not leave until the second Holy Lord appeared in the Starry Sky Fishman tribe. 540 Lin Moyu nodded secretly after hearing this. If you think about it this way, Luotian has long repaid the kindness of raising him. Judging from his brief contact with Luotian is indeed a person who values friendship. Chatting all the way, Lin Moyu listened more than talked. These saints have experienced a lot for tens of thousands of years, and they have endless stories to tell. Lin Moyu can get a lot of information from these stories. After returning to the Divine City Star territory, Lin Moyu left the God of War fortress, transferred to Wu Shengzuan's warship and returned to the core area, while the War God fortress will be taken away by War Shengzuan. The fortress of the God of War was originally a property of the God of War, and was usually under the control of the God of War. Feeling the familiar atmosphere of the Divine City Starfield and looking at the bustling galaxies, Lin Moyu felt that the human race was peaceful and beautiful. If a race can live in peace and stability for a long time, it will be a kind of happiness. War is terrible. Once it comes, countless lives will become victims. Lin Moyu hopes that this kind of disaster will never happen again among the human race. Wu Shengzuan said, when you return to the Divine City, you should have a good rest for a while. Then I will have something to do with you. Lin Moyu nodded, okay, I'll come find you after sorting out what I got from this trip. Wu Shengzuan smiled and said, don't be in a hurry, we'll talk about it after you've had enough rest. Tian Shengzuan also smiled and said, there is really no rush. We have been waiting for this matter for thousands of years, so we are not in a hurry. When the battleship returned to the Divine City, Lin Moyu's originally relaxed spirit suddenly tightened and his brows furrowed slightly. There was question in his eyes, my sister is not here? He did not sense Lin Mohan's aura. Lin Mohan was not in the Divine City. Saint Hao said, 3 years ago, your sister woke up and her cultivation reached the 9th level of a god. Sword Saint asked her opinion, and with her permission, he took her to practice.
Lin Moyu asked, where have you gone?
Wu Shengzuan said, because of the sword. The sword world is an independent space left over from ancient times. It was once the location of a sect in ancient times. We discovered it later and obtained part of the inheritance from it, but some of the inheritance has still not been discovered. Don't worry, there is no danger inside. If your sister is lucky enough to get the final inheritance of this sect, it will be a great opportunity. Lin Moyu had no doubts about Saint Hao's words and murmured to himself, as long as there is no danger. Tian Shengzuan said, there is a sect called Tianjin sect in the high-level area of the Divine City. Its founder received an inheritance called Tianjin from the Sword World and thus founded the Tianjin sect. He also relied on this inheritance to reach the other side of cultivation and almost became a saint. According to what he said, Tianjin is just a middling inheritance in that sect. In ancient times, there were many sects with many inheritances and strong ones. It would indeed be a good thing if we could get a strong and suitable inheritance. Lin Moyu originally wanted his elder sister to try the inheritance of the Soul Sword sect, but it seems that she can only wait until later and she is not in a hurry anyway. Advertisement. I don't know which one is stronger compared to the inheritance of Soul Sword sect. Lin Moyu thought in his heart, but the two could not be compared. Returning to the central hall, Fu Shengzuan had received the news early and was waiting there.
He asked hurriedly, where are the things?
Fu Shengzuan's greatest interest in this life is to study runes, especially tongue signs. Unfortunately, there are too few complete ancient talismans, which is a great pity. Now that there is a complete ancient talisman in front of you, how can Lord Fu not be anxious? Saint Hao threw the box to Saint Fu, what's it holding? Fu Shengzuan said, it's a rare material, how can we not be in a hurry? He hugged the box and swept his eyes over the box, becoming more and more excited as he looked at it. The next moment, he turned into a stream of light, disappeared in front of everyone, and returned to his training room to study the runes. Everyone present was dumbfounded. To Shengzuan Fu, it didn't matter what was in the box. What mattered was the runes on the box. Wu Shengzuan said, I hope he can study it. If it doesn't work, I'll ask Mr. Xing again. Lin Moyu thought to himself, if it doesn't work, just smash it. Since the things inside are so precious, they should be very hard. At most, be careful when smashing, smash it a few more times. Lin Moyu has confidence in the natural disaster scepter. This thing is used to smash things, and it hits accurately every time. Thinking of the natural disaster scepter, Lin Moyu thought of the soul world he had been to. The soul beasts of the Soul Clan can absorb and enhance soul gems, allowing them to truly awaken. Lin Moyu felt that he should find time to go to the soul world, maybe he could gain something there. Having finished everything that needed to be said and talked about along the way, Lin Moyu returned to his training room. Advertisement. He wanted to sort out what he had gained and gain some new insights into the laws of space along the way. After sorting it out, there will definitely be progress in mastering the laws of space. Compared with the laws of space, the laws of time are a headache for Lin Moyu. At least I can still feel the space, but time is always passing by and it is always difficult to get started. Now that Lin Moyu is too much, it means speeding up time. It is just the time that belongs to oneself. Speeding up a little has no practical effect. Abandoning distracting thoughts, Lin Moyu sorts herself out and completely calms down her body and mind. The dust and dust along the way were washed away, and the energy and spirit quickly returned to their peak state. In the soul world, the law galaxy of space law emerges and its own tributaries become thicker. Lin Moyu estimated that based on percentage, the current mastery of space laws has reached about 15%. However, the law of time didn't even have a clue. His original plan for the two to go hand in hand was a complete miscalculation. A few days later, the space where Lin Moyu was located suddenly changed, and a teleportation array was formed directly above Lin Moyu's head. The next second, the teleportation array was activated, and Lin Moyu disappeared directly into the training room. Lin Moyu's eyes flashed, and he saw the familiar Law Si. He showed a wry smile. "Xing Lao, aren't you afraid of me leaving?" The moment the teleportation array appeared, he had already reacted. If he had resisted a little at that time, he would not have been teleported away. From the teleportation array, Lin Moyu felt the aura belonging to Xing Lao, so he did not resist. Xing Lao rolled his eyes at him. "With the quality of your soul, are you still afraid of dying?" Lin Moyu smiled and said, "Why are you in such a hurry? I will come to see you in a few days." Mr. Xing snorted, "I'm older and have a hot temper. Is there any problem?" How dare Lin Moyu say there is a problem? The man in front of him is the real boss of the human race. Advertisement. Although he doesn't care about anything, that's his trump card. "Tell me about your experience outside the territory," the old man wants to hear it. Mr. Xing said while fishing, his ears already perked up. Lin Moyu started telling stories and repeated what he had said to several saints. Except for a few details, basically nothing is hidden. Xing Lao is also interested in ancient things, and his curiosity is no less than that of the Holy Lord. And Xing Lao knows more than the saints, and he can analyze it more systematically. Lin Moyu talked about his own experience, and at the same time he was waiting for Xing Lao, who would also speak out his thoughts and feed Lin Moyu back. In this way, Lin Moyu can also obtain more information. Xing Lao thought for a long time and then let out a long breath. Lin Moyu could feel that his mood was very complicated, so much so that the law stars in the Law Star Sea fluctuated up and down. Xing Lao said, "You are lucky to have met the Red Star Supreme. You can also complete a patch for what happened in ancient times. Shanlin Supreme deserves to die. You did a good job, Li Qian." Over the years, many people who died at the hands of Shanlin Supreme can finally be buried in peace. On the way back, Lin Moyu took out all the human corpses obtained from the Shanlin Supreme. The Human Emperor Network can find their true identities and return their fallen leaves to their roots. Xing Lao continued, "Let's see if Su Xiaozi can study the things obtained in the Soul Battleship. If not, I will think of a way. The things inside should be very precious. Such a box was also very precious in ancient times. Useless things will not be placed. And that this thing was handed over to the Soul Clan for safekeeping at that time, which means that the two parties should have reached some kind of agreement. Maybe the secret is in the box. It's a good thing that you have mastered certain space laws. When you can freely open the door to space, you can travel outside the territory, and you may gain something again." Lin Moyu listened to Xing Lao's story and couldn't help but ask, "Xing Lao, what kind of place is outside the territory?" Xing Lao smiled a little weird. He looked up at the sky, which reflected the light of the Law Sea, hazy like a starry sky reflecting countless light spots. Then, a star map appeared in midair. This star map Lin Moyu has seen before. It is a star map within the domain. The positions of various races are marked inside, and the size of the astrological domain and the sphere of influence are all clear. Then the star map began to expand, getting bigger and bigger. As the star map gets larger, the proportion occupied by the star fields within the domain becomes smaller and smaller. Lin Moyu was shocked. He had imagined that the outer territory would be very big, but he did not expect it to be so big. Along with Lin Moyu's shock, the star map continued to expand until it occupied the entire top. At this time, the proportion occupied by the star field in the domain is less than 1%. 99% of the entire star map is extraterrestrial space. Xing Lao smiled and said, "Do you think the extraterrestrial space is just that big?" Lin Moyu whispered, "Isn't it?" Xing Lao laughed, "Of course not, it's still far away. In fact, no one knows how big the outer space is." At this time, Xing Lao stretched out his hand and drew a range on the star map, which was approximately several times larger than the star field within the domain. Xing Lao explained, "The longest diameter of the starry sky in our domain is only 2 million light-years. If it were in ancient times, the space within the domain would have been larger than it is now, almost 3 million light-years in diameter." Advertisement. Even though it's only so big, 3062.7 million light-years was our human race's territory at that time, so the alien races were all outside these 3 million light-years. Lin Moyu was surprised. How many galaxies, how many resources, how many people should there be within 3 million light-years? This is an extremely huge number. Looking at the star field currently occupied by the human race, it does not exceed 500,000 light-years. Compared to ancient times, it is simply a huge difference. Xinglao continued, the wars in ancient times were cruel. Countless galaxies were destroyed, resources became less and less, and star fields became smaller and smaller. However, this has no impact on extraterritorial space. Finally, when the highlight came, Lin Moyu pricked up his ears and listened carefully. You also know that the human race once occupied many worlds. The human race extracted the origins of these worlds and put them into the big world, causing the big world to continue to expand. But the expansion speed of the big world is too fast, far exceeding the expansion speed of the human race. And the birth of resources takes time. The place where these resources have not had time to be born and are not suitable for the cultivation and growth of living beings is the extraterritorial space. From ancient times to the present, the star field suitable for cultivation and growth has become smaller and smaller, but the expansion of the big world continues. Who do you think can know how big the outer space is? Lin Moyu was surprised. It turns out that the big world has been expanding. Xinglao said, the area I designated is the area that the human race has reached before. The farthest place is about 1 million light-years away from the domain. You also went there because of the space riot this time. Perhaps you have exceeded the limit of 1 million light-years. As the distance increases, the volume of the starry sky increases exponentially, making it almost impossible to explore every area. Lin Moyu knew that in ancient times, even Tianzuan had not explored the extraterritorial space. Perhaps only by becoming the master of the big world could he know all the conditions of the extraterrestrial space. Even if he completely masters the laws of space, he may be able to reach the boundary of the world, but that is only a temporary boundary. Because the world is still expanding, the current borders are not real borders. Advertisement. Lin Moyu asked, since resources can be regenerated, why has our star field become smaller and smaller from ancient times to the present and the outer space remains desolate? Xinglao rolled his eyes at Lin Moyu. How do I know? I'm not Tianzuan. Resource regeneration is just recorded in ancient documents. I have never seen it with my own eyes. But I can tell you that our star field is gradually changing over the years. In addition to the war, resources are indeed decreasing and the star field occupied is also getting smaller. I have calculated that in the past 100,000 years, our star field has lost almost 100,000 light-years. At present, the entire star field is almost 2 million light-years, and 100,000 years is less than 100,000 light-years, and each side is 10,000 light-years less. Lin Moyu was shocked. So, in another 2 million years, all resources will disappear? Almost, it won't take more than 2 million years. I estimate that, in another 100,000 years, the world will be completely in chaos. The powerful races from all sides will take action, but the first step must be to eradicate the small races. Each powerful clan will hold a large amount of resources in their own hands. Lin Moyu can imagine that when resources cannot be regenerated, various cultivation resources must be the first to be snatched. At that time, the first unlucky ones will be the small tribes. They have no future and can only become prey in the hands of the powerful tribes. At that time, there can be no sympathy and small races will also be wiped out. Xinglao continued, subsequently, as resources become less and less, wars will break out between powerful races. But the war will not break out in the galaxy, but in the void. There will still be a tacit understanding among the powerful clans. The lost resources will be plundered, and the population will become smaller and smaller. From a strong clan to a small clan, and then to a small clan disappearing. Xinglao described a cruel reality for Lin Moyu, a reality that is very likely to happen in the future. Lin Moyu asked, but no matter how many resources there will be a day when they are exhausted.
So what if that day comes? What difference does it make in the outcome?
Advertisement. Xinglao smiled, and his smile was a bit charming. His voice also became deeper, and he slowly uttered a sentence, the world will reach nirvana. If you can survive the most difficult period, you may be able to gain a new life after the world reaches nirvana. Reshape the rules, rebuild the rules, everything is possible. When Lin Moyu heard this, he thought of the almost collapsed Great World Rune for no reason. He suddenly realized that the world might not reach nirvana. Resources cannot be regenerated, which may be related to the fact that the runes of the big world have been severely damaged. If this is the case, the world will never reach nirvana again. Not only will there be no nirvana, the world may even become extinct. At that time, all living creatures in the world will die, and no one will be able to escape. But this was just Lin Moyu's guess, and he didn't dare to say it. He asked tentatively, besides this, are there any other possibilities? Xinglao said, of course it is possible, but the possibility is not high. One possibility is that when the big world is expanding, it encounters new worlds, and then we annex the new worlds. Just like in ancient times, seize the origin of the new world and incorporate it into the big world. At the same time, you can also obtain all the resources of the new world. But this possibility is too small. Even if we encounter it, can we beat it? We don't even have the Supreme Being now, so being robbed is more like it. Lin Moyu knows that in ancient times, no matter how weak the world was, there were always one or two Supreme Beings in it. Now that the big world is without the Supreme, if we encounter this kind of small world again, it will not be plunder, but a disaster. Xinglao said, another possibility is that the Heavenly Lord is born here, and it may be possible to activate the big world. But now that the divine path is broken, let alone the Heavenly Lord, the Supreme Being cannot be born. This possibility is even smaller. The other two possibilities mentioned by Xinglao are indeed even less likely. Especially the second type is not necessarily a good thing, and may even bring disaster. Lin Moyu said, Senior, is there a way for me to see the divine path? He had always heard that the divine road was cut off, but he had no idea what the divine road actually looked like. The Blackstone Supreme hopes that he can reforge the divine path, so he should take a look at it.
Xinglao said, why worry?
When you become a saint, you will naturally see it.
Why do you have to become a saint to see it?
Is it because of the soul realm? Xinglao shook his head, no, but only when you reach the Holy Lord can you understand your own way. The divine path is both virtual and real. In the eyes of those who have not found their own path, the divine path does not exist. Only those who find their own way will have the divine path. Lin Moyu can probably understand what Mr. Xing said about Tao, which is the Tao that you can cultivate yourself. Every cultivator will eventually find a path that suits him or her best. Tao can be a law or not a law. It can be some kind of power or some kind of magic. Tao is all things, and all things can become Tao. Just like Fu Xingzuan, he enters the Tao through literature. Holy Lord Hao entered the Tao through the laws of virtual realm. The Soul Sword sect relies on the fusion of soul and sword to enter the Tao. The Sword Saint, on the other hand, directly enters the Tao with his sword. Only when you find your own way will the divine path appear. Then rely on your own way to embark on the divine path and achieve supreme status. The whole process is similar to crossing the law galaxy and stepping onto the other side. Xinglao said, now you know, it's useless if you see it, the divine path has been broken. Advertisement. Lin Moyu asked again, then do you know how to rebuild the divine path? Xinglao shook his head, if I knew, I would have done it a long time ago and wouldn't have waited here for so many years. Lin Moyu couldn't understand that Mr. Xing's lifespan was only about 30,000 to 50,000 years. Most of the human saints have a lifespan of 40,000 years, but Mr. Xing seems to have lived from the Shao Zhantian era to the present, a full 100,000 years. Xinglao is not a supreme, but he has the combat power of a supreme. What is Mr. Xing's identity? There is also the demon clan, the mysterious demon lord, who seems to be the same as Xinglao. Xinglao waved his hand, let's go, you can't see the star road until you find your own path. Lin Moyu left Xinglao's world and returned to the training room. He sat in the practice room and murmured to himself, what is my way? After asking, Lin Moyu did not find the correct answer. From the time he changed profession to practice until now, he has always been clear about his goals. Keep practicing and keep getting stronger. In the small world, destroy the demons and dragons. In order to change his wife's destiny, he needs to continue to become stronger. This is even more true after coming to the big world. He even made an oath to destroy all races and make the human race the king of the world again. But the idea of changing his life for his wife has never wavered. But now, ask yourself the way. Lin Moyu found that he had no answer. This is a very serious problem. When a cultivator loses his own Tao, what can he say about Taoism? Lin Moyu knows this very well and he will not be confused. My way will be found. If you can't find it now, keep looking until you find it. Lin Moyu's Taoist heart is very strong and has not been shaken by his own problems. Advertisement. It doesn't matter if you can't find it for the time being, no one is walking in the fog. Even those who are strong in the other side realm may not have found their own way. Lin Moyu believes that as long as the Taoist heart is firm enough, he will be able to find the Tao he needs. I reorganized my thoughts and threw away all the problems that could not be solved for the time being. Lin Moyu left the training room and flew towards the central temple. After calculating the time, more than 10 days have passed since he came back. Fu Xingzuan is still studying the ancient talisman box and seems to have some insights, but he has not been able to open it yet. Tian Xingzuan was discussing things with Wu Xingzuan. After Lin Moyu arrived, he did not interrupt them, but listened quietly. They were discussing some recent situations in the big world. Various races seemed to be stimulated by the human race's action and began to react accordingly. The Bull Demon clan and the Black Stone clan formed an alliance. Among them, the Blackstone clan is the feud of the human race, while the Bull Demon clan has no hatred against the human race. Once the two tribes form an alliance, it means that the Bull Demon tribe has also become the enemy of the human race. In addition, the Sand clan would disperse and reunite again after tens of thousands of years. The Sha tribe was once divided into the three Sha tribes on the Yellow River bed. But now for some unknown reason, it was suddenly announced that they would become one again. The Sha clan that merged into one undoubtedly met the standards of a powerful clan and became a new powerful clan.
There is another thing.
The Butterfly tribe asked for help from the human tribe, but they were attacked by the Python tribe. The human race has sent troops to help the Butterfly tribe. The Butterfly tribe has always been a friend of the human race. Even 100,000 years ago, when the human race encountered a disaster, the Butterfly tribe did everything they could to help the human race.
Please give me flowers.
The Butterfly clan has never been strong and they were almost exterminated because of this incident. If the human race loses, they will be dead. Any powerful clan can crush the Butterfly clan to death like an ant. Advertisement. Although the Butterfly tribe is weak, they are not stupid. The choice they made at that time was very unwise, but fortunately, the human race recovered in the end, and the Butterfly tribe also became much stronger with the help of the human race. Unfortunately, due to the nature of the race, the Butterfly clan's power has its limits. I definitely want to help, and I have already taken action. The two saints were discussing how to help. Regarding this issue, the two people's opinions are somewhat inconsistent. Saint Hao's suggestion was to destroy the Python clan, while Saint Lord Tian's idea was to help the Butterfly clan drive away the Python clan. After all, there is no hatred between the human race and the Python race. Just as Lin Moyu arrived, Tian Xingzuan turned directly to Lin Moyu and said, "Moyu, what do you think is better?" Lin Moyu has completely understood, and he has already had an idea in his mind. I think we should take over the Butterfly clan and give them a piece of territory on the edge of the human star territory. The Butterfly clan has only a small number of people and cannot use hundreds of galaxies. Unexpectedly, Lin Moyu would give such an answer. Wu Xingzuan said, "It is not difficult to take over. Although hundreds of galaxies are a bit too many, it is not impossible."
What about the Python clan?
Lin Moyu said, "It's very simple, destroy it."
Tian Xingzuan frowned, "Reason?"
Lin Moyu said, "In the big world, we are either friends or enemies. This reason is enough. After taking over the Butterfly clan's galaxy resources will belong to us. By the way, we will also destroy the Python clan and get their galaxy resources. In this way, not only can we increase our resources a lot, but we can also expand the star field." I got some news from Xinglao. In the future, all small tribes will be wiped out, either by us or by others. So I think if they are friends, we will protect them, and if they are enemies, we will destroy them.
It's that simple.
Regarding Xinglao's prophecy, the two saints had also heard about it. But it is still 100,000 years away from the time mentioned by Xinglao, which is very early. 100,000 years later, they are no longer here, so it is only right to leave it to the human saints at that time to handle it. Lin Moyu doesn't think so. I think it would be better if we do it earlier and lay a foundation for future generations. When all ethnic groups start cooking, the meat we can grab will be less soil. After thinking about Lao Xing's words, Lin Moyu decided to make two preparations. Although he personally believes that the big world may not reach nirvana, but will eventually become extinct. But what if his idea is wrong? He cannot regard his own ideas as the only way for human beings to go. Therefore, obtaining more resources to survive the last cold winter before nirvana can be regarded as a backup plan. He also planned to rebuild the divine path with his own ability. But what if he fails? What we do now can also be regarded as paving the way for future generations. You can't put your eggs in one basket, Lin Moyu knows this very well. Since you want to do it, don't wait until later, you can start doing it now. Both Tianshengzhen and Heishengzhen were thinking about Lin Moyu's suggestions. Although Lin Moyu was only a deity, his suggestions also needed to be adopted. Both of them knew very well that as long as Lin Moyu did not die, he would definitely become a saint. Moreover, for such a young holy lord, 540 can live many years longer than them. Perhaps in the future, all matters of the human race will be decided by Lin Moyu. Therefore, his words must also be taken seriously. Wu Shengzuan said, I agree with your approach, take over the butterfly clan, give them 100 galaxies, and wipe out the python clan. Tian Shengzuan frowned, but the python clan has no enmity with us. Lin Moyu shook his head, the butterfly tribe is our friend, and they were kind to us 100,000 years ago. Bullying our friends means bullying us, and there will be hatred. What's more, just because there is no hatred now, does not mean there will be no hatred in the future. If we don't take action now, someone will take action against them in the future. Advertisement. Under the cruelty of the future, small tribes will have no way to survive. Of course, if they escape, we don't have to chase them. Lin Moyu knows very well that if the Python clan wants to escape, they can only escape outside the territory. But such a weak existence would find it difficult to survive outside the territory, and death would be a matter of time. It is foreseeable that when the powerful clans take action one after another, a large number of people will flee outside the territory. But in the end, almost no one survives. Although the outside world is deserted, it is not safe. Under Lin Moyu's somewhat cold advice, the matter was settled. The Lord Tianqing issued the order, and the human race dispatched 2 people from the other side to pick up the butterfly clan. Lin Moyu's eyes were full of murderous intent. I think we can take action against those small tribes that have enmity with us. If Mr. Xing's prediction comes true, he will have more resources and will be in a favorable position. From this moment on, he seemed to have reached a higher level, no longer thinking about himself, but starting to think about the entire human race. Once you reach this height, you have to make some cruel decisions. Tian Shengzuan said in a low voice, I will consider your suggestion carefully. He didn't agree to Lin Moyu, but he didn't refuse immediately either. Wu Shengzuan noticed the change in Lin Moyu's expression, stood up and patted him on the shoulder. Sometimes decisions are hard to make. You will understand in the future, come with me. Wu Shengzuan left the divine city with Lin Moyu. After leaving the formation, Wu Shengzuan took out his battleship. In the battleship, Wu Shengzuan brewed a pot of Tao tea using Tao water. Taoist water is very special and can only be boiled by the Holy Master. The taste of Taoist tea is very special and can enhance the effect of Taoist tea 10-fold and 100 times. Tao water is also very rare, even rarer than Tao tea. Its preciousness is no less than that of Wankai water, and because it is only used for making tea, its luxury level is even better than Wankai water. Advertisement. Therefore, even the saints would not often use it to make tea. This is not the first time Lin Moyu has seen Dao Shui. He didn't feel anything in the past, but this time he felt something different. He felt the charm of Dao Shui, which was a bit familiar, as if he had seen it somewhere. But he couldn't remember it for a while, and Lin Moyu couldn't help but fall into thinking. Wu Shengzuan looked at Lin Moyu thinking that he was still thinking about the previous things. Sit down and have a cup of tea, don't think about some things that you can't think clearly. When your position changes, your thinking will naturally be different from before. Maybe a word or a thought can determine the life or death of hundreds of millions of creatures. It's normal for it to be hard to accept for a while. Saint Hao was like a senior who taught Lin Moyu well and poured tea for Lin Moyu at the same time. Lin Moyu realized that Hao Shengzuan had misunderstood him. You have misunderstood. I once held a high position in the small world. I could decide the lives and deaths of thousands of people with one word. I also slaughtered countless people. I took matters of life and death very lightly. Wu Shengzuan raised his eyebrows slightly and smiled in surprise. Then what are you thinking about? Lin Moyu said, I was thinking about this water, and it felt like déjà vu, but I couldn't remember it. Only then did Wu Shengzuan understand. So, we accidentally obtained Dao Shui from the ruins, but we don't know where it came from. The quantity is indeed scarce, but it seems to have no other use than making tea. The reason why it is called Dao Shui is that it contains Dao Rhyme inside it. You once enlightened the Tao, and the Dao Rhyme radiated when you realized the Tao is very similar to Dao Shui, but it is stronger. Perhaps you feel familiar because you have enlightened the Tao. Lin Moyu nodded silently, maybe. If you don't understand it, then don't think about it. There are too many secrets in this world, and every time a layer is uncovered, more secrets will appear. He is not omniscient and omnipotent. He does not know many things, including this one. Lin Moyu picked up the teacup and drank it all in one gulp. The taoti turned into rolling hot water and spread throughout the body. Finally, it concentrated in the soul and exploded, turning into sweet rain to nourish the soul world. The whole soul world seemed to be much clearer. Saint Hao once again served Lin Moyu tea. Taoti brewed in Tao water is very rare. Don't waste it. Drink a few more cups. Lin Moyu took it gratefully and asked at the same time.
Senior, where are we going?
Advertisement. Wu Shengzuan said, go to an ancient ruins. There is something there that you need to get back.
Lin Moyu instinctively asked, a what?
Lin Moyu didn't understand. If there was something he needed to get by himself, couldn't Saint Hao come out by himself? If you can't get it back even with the Holy Lord's power, then how can you do it yourself? Saint Hao smiled and said, if you go there, you will know that the relationship between strength and weakness is not that big there. Lin Moyu said oh and did not ask any further questions. The battleship kept moving forward in the starry sky, leaving countless galaxies behind. Soon the battleship left the high-level area, and Lin Moyu felt that the direction the battleship was heading seemed to be heading outside the sacred city. That ancient ruins are outside the divine city star territory. Lin Moyu thought in his heart, and suddenly a bright brilliance appeared in the dim starry sky. In the brilliance is a rapidly rotating whirlpool, just like the entrance to the secret realm 4.4. The moment the entrance appeared, the battleship also rushed in. Lin Moyu couldn't help but ask, are the ancient ruins in a secret realm? Wu Shengzuan smiled and said, almost, but not quite. There is still a difference between ancient ruins and secret realms. The secret realm evolved from ancient talisman fragments, while the ancient ruins are remnants of ancient times, which are completely different in nature. The battleship sailed in the whirlpool for another 10 minutes, passed through a long passage, and finally entered the ancient ruins. Lin Moyu found that all connections with the big world were cut off. The law lines are no longer visible and the law galaxy cannot be sensed. The strength of the whole body, except for the physical strength which is not affected, is almost suppressed. I've had this feeling before. This is a world of rules. Unexpectedly, the ancient ruins mentioned by Saint Hao turned out to be an irregular world. Lin Moyu has seen several rule worlds and will never admit his mistakes. And he can be sure that the world of rules he is in now is at least the world of rules of a supreme being. The Holy Lord's rule world is much weaker and simpler than the supreme rule world. There is a clear difference between the two, and Lin Moyu can definitely tell the difference. Saint Hao was not surprised that Lin Moyu could recognize the world of rules. He smiled and said, this is indeed a world of rules, but at the same time it is also the inheritance of a sect. According to our research, in ancient times, many sects' inheritances were placed in the world of rules. In ancient times, after the invasion of the Black Blood Realm, the Supremes died in battle one after another. Some Supreme Rule worlds were not destroyed. After a long period of evolution, they turned into ancient ruins. Lin Moyu can completely understand that the Supreme can freely control his own world of rules. For them, the world of rules is the most powerful magic weapon. If the sect's inheritance is placed in the world of rules, it will undoubtedly be the safest. This is the same as the secret realm of ancient talisman evolution. Even ancient talismans can evolve into secret realms, and the supreme world of rules can naturally evolve into an independent space. Lin Moyu looked at this rule world and felt the unique atmosphere of the rule world. There is a thin layer of fog in the world of rules, which prevents people from seeing too far away. With his eyesight, he could only see 10,000 meters at most. Here, not only the eyesight is limited, but also the physical strength is limited. The law cannot be sensed, the magic is restricted, and only the power of the physical body is still intact. He walked quickly behind Hao Shengzuan. It could be seen that Wu Shengzuan was also restricted, but it was better than him. Wu Shengzuan is using his own world of rules to fight against the power of this world of rules. After walking for a while, the fog in front of my eyes suddenly dispersed, and my field of vision suddenly became wider. The clouds cleared and the sun appeared, a ray of soft light fell from the sky, and a 10,000-meter-high mountain appeared in the sight. Advertisement. The mist that should have existed in every space is now attracted to this mountain and covers Dangshan Mountain. On the top of the mountain, there is a pagoda-like building. On the top of the pagoda is a huge pearl. Pearls are like stars, lighting up in all directions. Lin Moyu's eyes swept across the mountain, and nothing could be seen in the entire mountain except the pearls on the top and the pagoda looming in the mist. Use all your eyesight to open the eyes of your soul. Lin Moyu saw a few more things with the help of his soul in the other side realm. Under the pagoda, there seems to be a palace. It's just that the fog is too thick and I can't see very clearly. Wu Shengzuan smiled and said, "See that pearl?" Lin Moyu hummed, "I saw it, do you want me to bring it back?" Saint Hao shook his head. The pearls that can be brought back to the top of the tower are naturally the best, but there is no requirement. As long as you can enter the tower and bring back any inheritance, it is considered a success. He continued to move towards the mountain, explaining as he walked, "This sect is called Yunwu sect, this mountain is also called Yunwu mountain, the palace on the top of the mountain is called Yunwu Tiangong, and the tower is called Yunwu tower. You enter the mountains, find a way to enter the heavenly palace, and then enter the tower, you can obtain the inheritance of the Yunwu sect. There are 9 floors in the tower. The higher you climb, the stronger the inheritance you get. If you can break through the 9 floors, you can obtain the supreme inheritance of Yunwu sect. The supreme inheritance is the pearl at the top of the tower. For countless years, pearls have existed, which means no one has ever obtained them." Lin Moyu asked, "With your ability, can't you reach the end?" Here, it is difficult for him to exert even 1% of his strength. Only the Holy Lord can rely on his own world of rules to resist the restrictions here. If you can't even get the inheritance from the Holy Lord, you won't have much chance of coming. Advertisement. There was a hint of mystery in the eyes of Saint Hao. No, Yunwu sect does not test combat power, nor does it test laws, but tests luck. Luck? Lin Moyu was stunned for a moment. What kind of sect is this and why the inheritance must be obtained by luck? And how do you test luck? If you are lucky today, it does not mean you will be lucky tomorrow. Wu Shengzuan knew that Lin Moyu had doubts. If you don't understand it, don't think about it. You will know it after a while. Anyway, there won't be any danger here. Even if it fails, it will only be a little embarrassing. You just need to remember that luck is also a part of strength. Good luck is very important. Lin Moyu has always known that Shengzuan and the others are looking for lucky people, and he has also asked himself some questions about luck. Apparently, it was for the inheritance of Yunwu Tiangong. Lin Moyu is even more curious about this ancient inheritance. There is actually a sect that uses luck as the test standard. They came to the foot of the mountain, and Lin Moyu saw some houses. There are more than 100 houses of various sizes and shapes, forming a small village. There are people living there, and the popularity can be felt from afar. Wu Shengzuan said, "Over the years, we have also found some lucky candidates and let them try to enter the test. But unfortunately, no one can pass the test." Wu Shengzuan's attitude towards Lin Moyu is completely different from that towards others. He patiently explained to Lin Moyu what they were doing. Since discovering the inheritance place of Yunwu Tiangong, they have found many people to come in, and they are all the lucky ones. Everyone stays here for hundreds of years to try and see if they can get the inheritance. But it is a pity that no one has reached the top of the mountain, let alone the pearl at the top of the tower, and has not even entered the palace on the top of the mountain. On the contrary, I have obtained some insignificant inheritance, which are fragments of inheritance obtained during the test and are of little use. Advertisement. But there is no danger here. If you fail once, you can try a second or third time. If they failed, they would be embarrassed at most, so they settled down and tried again and again. The mountain is 10,000 meters high, and the person who has walked the highest has reached 2/3 of the way. The arrival of Haoxing 967 immediately attracted the attention of others.
Holy Saint Hao is here.
I've met Holy Lord Hao. Is the Holy Lord sending new people here again? You are so young, and you seem to have good strength. A group of people greeted Saint Hao one after another. Many people also came out of the house, and the village gradually became lively. The strength of everyone here is limited, and they cannot see each other's realm. Instead, there is no distinction between superior and inferior status. Everyone lives together like friends. Moreover, they have lived here for a long time, isolated from the world, and have never heard of Lin Moyu's name. After they greeted Wu Shengzuan, their attention fell on Lin Moyu.
Young man, what is your name? How old are you this year?
To be chosen by Wu Shengzuan, the young man's luck must be amazing. Did he get some incredible luck? You are a good young man. Although our strength is limited, I feel that you are extraordinary and have a bright future. Lin Moyu was a little surprised that the group of people were all talking at once and seemed familiar with each other. This group of people was too casual. Even towards Wu Xingzuan, they only maintained some basic courtesy. Wu Xingzuan smiled and said, "His name is Lin Moyu. He is in his early 100s and is already a god."
Ego.
For a god who is over 100 years old, this is impossible. Holy Lord Hao, don't scare me, I will be scared to death. Young people, can you get married? I have hundreds of granddaughters.